Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Matt DeGroot. Rafael Nadal has been crowned the Australian Open men's tennis champion, making history as the first male player to win 21 Grand Slams. It took almost 5.5 hours for the Spaniard to down Daniil Medvedev in 5 sets. Nadal battling injury, surgery and a bout of COVID in the lead-up to the tournament, thanking his supporters for helping him achieve the record.
Yeah, without a doubt have been probably one of the most emotional months in my tennis career, and having the huge support that I received is just going to stay in my heart for the rest of my life. So many thanks.
Thousands of school children across Victoria and New South Wales will begin Term 1 this morning. It's being recommended students have a rapid COVID test twice a week for the first month of returning to class. Students won't return to school in Queensland for another week. Meanwhile, the new Treasury forecast predicts the Omicron wave of COVID-19 could cost New South Wales economy more than $6 billion. Earlier estimates forecast Australia will cost around $3.5 billion. 5 people have been rescued from the Nepean River in Sydney's west after their boat capsized in swollen waters. Their vessel hit the Penrith Weir and flipped, leaving one man in a critical but stable condition. New South Wales Ambulance Acting Inspector Peter Van Praag.
New South Wales Ambulance has responded to this location a number of times in recent months, with one person sadly losing their life just on Australia Day.
Queensland police have dropped charges against a man just hours after he was arrested for the deaths of a married couple southwest of Brisbane. The bodies of Christine and Joe Stephen were found inside their burnt-out Collingwood Park home last week. Police say the proceedings have been dropped after they received new information. A member of the Australian Winter Olympic team has tested positive for COVID-19, has now tested negative. The team member went into isolation following their initial result and has since undergone a second PCR test. They'll be subject to a final test result today. And the nation's unemployment rate is tipped to drop below 4% this year for the first time since record began. Updating sport, and there's enormous pressure on Matilda's coach Tony Gustafsson after suffering a shock 1-0 defeat to South Korea in the Asian Cup quarterfinals. And questions are once again being asked about whether or not the women's Ashes test needs to be 5 days after another draw, though this one was a narrow one, with England finishing 9 wickets down after at one stage looking like they were set for a comfortable victory after Australia set a very sporting declaration. And that's the latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.